Now we play a round called Mock the 9 o'clock news. This game involves Zoe, Stuart, Andy and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge to produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is finance. Can I have a volunteer to talk about that? Andy.
British Airways, their answer to the credit crunch. They've asked their employees, can you come into work for nothing for a month or take a month off unpaid? There's a tricky choice, isn't there? And who is going to want to fly British Airways? The last thing you want to hear when you get on the plane, this is your captain speaking. I'm not being paid today. Good luck. I am looking forward to seeing the credit crunch version of Monopoly. You know, instead of getting £1,500 from the bank, you have to lend the bank £1,500. And then everybody keeps on going round the board with nobody buying any property whatsoever because they always think it's going to be cheaper next time they go around.
Well done, Andy. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is Sarah Palin. Who wants to talk about that?
Sarah Palin. She was apparently an ex-beauty queen of a town in Alaska called Wasilla. And the press were very keen on this. They kept saying, you know, the beauty queen Sarah Palin, the ex-beauty queen, the beauty queen Sarah Palin. Let me tell you something, people. Wasilla is a very, very small town. Population 8, possibly 9,000 people at the best of times. To call it a one-horse town is to over-exaggerate the number of horses in that town by one. They timeshare a horse with another shithole down the road. Now, my brother used to live in Anchorage, Alaska, and I have been to Wasilla, and in the 5 minutes it took us to drive across Wasilla, I was voted beauty queen of Wasilla. It was no big deal, honestly. An otter and a caribou came second and third, respect.
Thank you very much, Zoe. That leaves us with Stuart and Russell. Let's spin the wheel again. The next topic is men's health. Who wants to come in on that? Russell.
I went to the doctors recently with anal issues. I thought I had cancer, not I can't put my CDs in order. But it's a terrifying moment, right? So scary, because in your head, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And I went there and I took down my trousers. Obviously, we had a chat first, and it just... I'm not very well. You can see that, mate. This is a chip shop. You've never done it slower in your life. I was just peeling them down. I got them down to about there. Just heard his booming voice go, in the other room. You have a decision to make there. Do you pull them up or do you waddle with pride, right? You waddle, that's what you do. When you waddle, you can't help but giggle. The last thing you need is to be giggling is before a man's going to pop his finger in your Richard, because now you're a wiggling target, right? I'll be honest, when the finger goes in, you're not laughing anymore! You're like a red arrow! And that's the moment they chat. How you doing? Fine. Can you draw the curtains? We've gathered quite a crowd. Look at that, it's Atrium Steps and he's getting violated. I'm Russell!
OK, Stuart, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. And the topic is school.
You are looking at a very proud Canadian who's very proud of the education system in Canada. No, I was horrible in school. I failed math so many times I can't even count. I preferred French over chemistry because the chemistry teacher and I just didn't have any, rapport. One teacher said I'd be a better student if I spent less time flirting. I immediately jumped off his lap. One teacher used to always say I wasn't very observant, but you know what? That was his or her opinion. I was going to join the debating team, but someone talked me out of it. In high school, I was voted most likely to reminisce.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Zoe and Stuart.
It's alive! It's alive! Oh, no, sorry, it is dead. I really am an awful vet.
I'm sorry, it's just you look nothing like your photo in Match.com.
You've got a flat screen TV and brand new trainers. I know what you did last summer.
I know what you did last summer because you keep posting all your boring shit on Facebook.
Get back, you demons! You devils! Get away, Satan's spawn! Back from whence you came! That was the party political broadcast on behalf of the UK Independence Party.
I have a message from the other side. We have Bake Off now.
See, I'd rather you not say zombie. The term now is differently alive.
The ghost is trying to say something to us. Old Kent Road. Community chest. Go to jail. Sorry, I didn't have time to get a Ouija board.
Oh my God! Everybody, run! Oh no, it's just some fat prick with a Nerf gun.
I think you mean a broken Nerf gun. For example, this bit shouldn't do this.
I'm afraid I have no choice but to kill you, because I've already chosen to shag and marry your two friends.
28 days later, a horrifying journey of a man going from Three Bridges to East Croydon with Southern.
I see dead people. Oh no, my bad, it's Keith Richards.
Here's Johnny, and then I'm going to put it on my willy, and then we're going to have sexy.
Sir, there's been another attack by the undead in Wimbledon. No, not zombies this time. Zombles.
A seance? No. I've been pronouncing it seance.
Is there anybody there? Can you hear me? Is there anybody there? This is the Christian O'Connell Breakfast Show.
That was Mayor Boris Johnson with his official statement on the riots.
You seen the traffic? It's a nightmare on Elm Street. And now, Alan Bennett's long-awaited remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the Nantwich Leaf Blower kerfuffle.
What do you want? What do you want? No, I'm not paying too much for my car insurance.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti. So I gave Mark's dinner party an 8.
Do you like scary movies, Sydney? Oh, sorry, is Sydney there, please?
If you don't keep up payments to your exorcist, there's a danger that your home will become repossessed.
Ha! Joke's on you, Dracula. I've got AIDS. I ate his liver with some jelly beans and a nice ombongo.
I've seen the ring! I wish that builder would pull his trousers up.
I don't have to listen to you. You're just a puppet. If you don't shut up, I'm going to put you back in your box, Mr. Clegg.
I'm afraid he's been bitten by George Michael. He's turned into a vampire.
Lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi film.
We've discovered an alien queen, and she's laid enough eggs to take over the galaxy. This writing, it says, Katona.
I am C-3PO. This is my cousin, WD-40.
All right, Chewie, you look different after that back sack and crack wax.
My name is Obi-Wan Kenobi. This is my brother, Oh Be Careful. My sister, Oh Behave. My dog, Oh Be a Sport.
Use the Force, Luke. I've run out of lubricant.
Yeah, that's right. We aliens have learnt your language by listening to your radio broadcasts.
The androids are going berserk, Captain. Let's try switching them off and then on again.
Stardate 2171.6. Captain's log. Still won't flush. I'll try again later.
Vader, you look like a big black dildo.
Captain, I've been repeatedly firing this laser at that alien, but all I've managed to do is improve its eyesight and give it a Brazilian.
It's not easy being a Vulcan, Captain. Due to my death grip, I can't masturbate.
Had that hairball in there for years.
You're loving Chewie.
I need to break into the Death Star's computer system. Who knows Darth Maul's mother's maiden name?
Captain, the ethereal sounds being made by this beautiful dying creature from another world is some funky shit.
Okay, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear on the radio.
In that episode of the Hugh Dennis story, Hugh Dennis was played by Bruce Willis, Steve Punt was played by Hugh Dennis, and the band was Shawaddy Waddy.
You touch my turnips and I'll fuck you up.
And now for a travel update. There is an accident on the M1. It's a good one, so hurry up. There's flames and everything.
Next, a book at bedtime. Martin Jarvis reads the speeches of Hitler in a high-pitched girl's voice.
Good afternoon, this is Radio 4 and I have a regional accent.
Next on Radio 4, the dogging forecast.
Here on Traffic Watch, we're predicting long delays on the M4, where I'm about to hit my ex-wife's car with this helicopter.
And now it's the panel show where our panel try to stave off premature ejaculation. Yes, it's just a minute.
Good morning, this is Breakfast with Tony Blackburn. I'm not actually on the radio, I've broken into your kitchen. Do you want toast?
Next, more lesbian propaganda with Woman's Hour.
Well, you've certainly stumped the Gardener's Question Time panel. None of us know how to bring a fox to orgasm.
You're listening to Heart FM. The same 5 songs all day long.
Sexy a.m. Welcome to the breakfast show. Who's up at 6 a.m.? My wife's leaving me. My dad didn't get up at 6 a.m. and he was a fucking miner.
Yes, this is Prime Minister David Cameron on a visit to a housing development near Manchester during this week's Conservative Party conference. At the conference, a number of high-profile policies were announced. Have you seen any of these policies?
Yes, they've announced that married couples are going to get a tax allowance, aren't they?
It's going to be amazing.
It's going to be £200 a year. Yeah? Wow. To encourage couples to spend £4 a week. It's brilliant, isn't it? People going, yeah, walk out, go on, don't turn around now. Come on, eh? There's £2 in it for you.
It literally is a pint. You could just get a pint out of it, and then every week you'll argue about who gets the pint.
You're talking London prices here.
Oh, sorry, of course. If they break into a student bar in Stoke, you get hammered for a month. Well, I don't think that's going to help the cohesion of their marriage.
So at £200 a year, the average wedding is £18,000. So to break even, 90 years you need to be married for.
Don't go dying on me. Don't go dying on me. I need another 23 years out of you. Come on.
We're not married, Andy.
No. That was like the weirdest romantic movie ever.
Don't you die on me. Don't you die on me, Josh Widdicombe.
Don't I feel the gooseberry?
Who's actually going to be... What decision would you make differently because it's £200 a year?
Well, my accountant advised me to become a Mormon.
Your accountant actually is a Mormon. He just hands out those leaflets all the time.
That was a completely unrelated anecdote.
It is weird because it's social policy, social engineering by dangling money in front of people.
He hasn't dangled it in front of people, he's waved it in front of people and said, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. That's what he's done.
Unlikely things to hear at the World Cup.
And here comes the Irish team.
Cold. Sorry, that is... Wow. You're getting buzzed to fuck for the rest of it. Okay. Sorry, Hugh. You'd like to go in there? Yeah,
it's okay.
absolutely.
That's
Hugh.
fine.
Here with the first answer is Hugh.
And here come the Irish team.
Hello, I'm really sorry we didn't get in this year.
And up in the stand, the Uruguayan women with their chant, Uruguay, and I'm a gwirl.
And Portugal have beaten Spain, and Saudi Arabia have beaten a woman for wearing shorts.
Jamie Vardy managed 4 shots in the first half, 3 sambucas and a Skittles vodka.
And that is a great shot from the Russian, but unfortunately the journalist has survived.
So it's Panama's first time at the tournament, but they have been doing FIFA's accounts.
And Sterling has taken a dive. That's it for financial news. Back to the football.
Well, it's official. England are out. And we can go back to identifying people with flags in their windows as racist.
Well, let's have a look at the Swedish bench. $12.99 from IKEA.
Oh, and that is a huge tackle. That has got to make it more difficult to rollerblade.
Brilliant goalkeeper, David De Gea. Midfield maestro,
Mesut Ozil. Fast forward.
And he's nipped round the back and banged in an absolute screamer. This really is the best leaked sex tape in the history of football.
Well, we didn't think it was possible, but somehow Gareth Southgate has managed it. England eliminated before the group stage.
Well, at 2-1 down, Iran had to do something, so they've brought on their secret weapon, a 14-megaton intercontinental ballistic missile.
If you've just tuned in to England versus Germany, what are you doing, mate? Love Island is on.
Well, it looks like semis for Croatia. I wish they had worn bigger shorts.
That's a shocking miss from Jesus. They are going to absolutely crucify him for that.
Things you wouldn't hear in a charity appeal.
British Red Cross. Just 3 adjectives to describe the average UKIP voter.
Stuck in a chair, barely able to move. Please help us get Dara walking again.
Andre will be with us later. He's got a new single, and if our donations don't double, we'll let him perform it.
For just 50p, Dara O'Brien will toss you off in comic hand relief.
50p?
50p? There's no way I'm paying that.
God, give me a quid at least. I'm classy. Kiss him and everything.
Shoplifters Anonymous, helping people to help themselves.
If you're starting a family, why not consider adoption? But hurry up, otherwise it'll only be the ugly ones left.
With your money, I'm going to start a human organ delivery service called Liveroo.
Every day, these people walk up to 15 steps to get water. With your money, we can employ waiters at Nando's.
At the National Trust, for just £70 a year, you can have unlimited access to national treasures, like the gardens of Stour Head or the sumptuous interior of Judi Dench.
The thing with a disease like HIV is that many people are just ignorant. Most people don't even realise that HIV is just Roman for high five.
Robin needs clean, cold water and something nutritious to eat, because last night he got shit-faced.
These people are disease-ridden. They haven't had a shower for weeks. Donate now. Save a life in Magaluf.
This is the People's Dispensary for sick animals. This tiger has 3 dicks. How sick is that?
Give a man a duck and he'll feed himself for a week. Teach a man to duck and he'll avoid low-flying objects.
With your money last year, we took this homeless man and completely transformed him into a homeless woman.
And now on Comic Relief, it's time for some harrowing footage as the cast of Birds of a Feather sing the hits from Greece.
Between you and me, those rescue cats can't even swim, let alone rescue anyone.
The Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, the only charity looking after the needs of Cockney women.
For just the price of a cup of coffee, we can get little Nagubu a cup of coffee.
Pale, sad and hungry. We're raising money for the Irish football team.
Okay, look, points go to Milton, Hugh and Angela. Sport, who wants to give me that? Andy Parsons.
So, it was the Olympic parade last week. It's great seeing it live. Obviously, I had to keep a certain amount of a low profile in the crowd because I was throwing a sickie from work at the time. But it was great. 21 buses driving through London at a steady 2 miles an hour. So very like a normal day in London, really. There was an embarrassing moment, though, when one of the conductors rang the bell on the bus and then got the shit kicked out of him by the blind football team. And I realised, actually, that I could get into any sport during the Olympics. The only sport I couldn't actually get into, dressage. Watching a horse walk and then reverse. They call it horse ballet. I don't think anybody would go and see ballet if it was just some bloke walking a bit quicker, slowing down a bit, stopping, bowing, and then pissing off. And secondly, not many people go to ballet anyway because it's shit. Thank you very much, Andy Parsons. OK, now we come to our final quickfire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you can make your way to the performance area, please. I cut ideas for scenarios we'd love to see, and the performers come in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear on a consumer programme.
I'm Adrian Childs, and I was shocked by the new Shrek film. I've not been paid for it, yet I seem to be starring in it.
Consumer scams are on the increase. If you'd like to find out how to stop them, send us your name and address, your date of birth, and your mother's maiden name.
I've just found out my jumper was made by Indian slave children. Can I just say they did a wonderful job?
Next, we speak to Barbara, who was devastated when she bought Daniel Bedingfield tickets that turned out to be genuine.
At first, the company seemed willing to compromise. Then we sent them a letter from Nicky Campbell, and they told us to fuck off.
I won't be on this show next week because I'm going off to Nigeria to pick up my lottery winnings.
Last week, we said that we were going to expose London's security scene. This week, we say, there's been a misunderstanding. Could I please have my kids back?
On closer inspection, Mrs. Wilkins, your hamster's jacuzzi would appear to be a food blender.
Hey, I'm Nicky Campbell, and I've been ploughing through the usual 5 sacks of hate mail to find this letter complaining about washing powder.
Today, as I stand before you penniless in the last clothes I own, we ask, is divorce biased in favour of the greedy bitch who left me?
We got there, the weather were crap, the food were crap, the locals were racist. What a bloody brilliant holiday!
Of the half dozen condoms we tested, all but 2 burst in my stomach.
I'm Anne Robinson, and without plastic surgery, I'd look like E.T.'s balls.
Okay, the next topic is things a sports commentator would never say.
Oh, they've called in the video referee. Which is better, Alien or Predator?
Oh, yes, and that's a beautiful uppercut. And another one. But hey, the DJ is still not going to change the track for Stephen Gerrard.
Jimmy White holding up the cue there as he collapses at the Telenoid bins.
Welcome to Robot Wars. Cruncher, ready. Stephen Hawkins, ready.
And England have won the Ashes.
It's the women's 100 metres final, and from left to right, it's no, no, yes, maybe, from behind. Definitely not.
The Queen smashes Camilla in the face and Prince Philip hits her with a hammer. This is what I call a Royal Rumble.
Venus Williams has brought something different to the ladies' game. Male genitalia.
Oh, he's great with a dead ball. When I had one, I had to sit down for a week.
And I think that massive widescreen close-up of the wedgie goes some way to explaining why we don't normally televise judo.
And that bloody smear is the reason you don't see a lot of streakers in Formula 1.
Some people on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now. The Chinese secret police have shot them.
Well, he's finally got his head down. His hands are firmly round the shaft. Which is why I'm handing over to John Infidel.
Overpaid knocks it on to overrated on to possible rapist knocks it forward, closet gay, goal!
Okay, the end of that. The point goes to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. Okay, that leaves us with Tom. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see what your topic is. The topic is exercise.
Also a picture of me. I'm not very good at exercise. I joined the gym. I joined Virgin Active because there wasn't a Virgin Passive. And I found the whole process very intimidating. Like, when you go in there, you're confronted with all the cardio area, like the cardio area. They call it cardio because that's where you go to have a heart attack. And then at the other end, they have what they call the free weights section, the free weights, which I have no business being in because it's for the bigger boys. The bigger boys go there all day. They're lifting things all day, trying to get big arms, trying to turn their arms into legs. And I think it all really started at school. Like, I didn't like doing PE at school. What would happen is, after assembly, one class would have to stay behind in the hall because they'd be doing gym. And I never found out who Jim was. The worst bit was if you had to use the apparatus. Basically, it was this huge, terrifying cage which had to be buckled to the wall. It was so terrifying. And older children would have to come in who'd been trained by the army. And they'd come in and they'd untether its bonds, and they'd pull a lever and it would lurch out and it would swing out, and these huge, terrifying arms had to be buckled to the floor. Otherwise, it would just swing out and kill everybody. They had all these bars and ropes and chains. It was very much like a weekend I recently spent in Berlin.
Thank you very much. The point goes to Tom Allen. Come on. We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board of 6 categories. Chris, which category would you like?
Sport, please.
OK, the category is sport. The answer is 736. What is the question?
Is it Tom Daly's bedtime?
On which page of your home insurance does it say that they never pay out for anything ever?
Is it how many hours in a row has Claire Balding now been awake for?
Is it the only item at his local takeaway that Eamon Holmes hasn't ordered? And that is spring water.
Yeah. Is it how many people have seen Keith Lemon the movie?
Generous.
Is it if you saw Pythagoras in concert? Name one of the old numbers he might try and do.
Is it how many Cocoa Pops does Rain Man have for breakfast? 736 Cocoa Pops. 736 Cocoa Pops.
Is it the number of Americans aware of the Paralympics?
Is it what would Emil Heskey's squad number be at Barcelona?
Is it how many energy-saving light bulbs do you have to turn on before you can change an ordinary one?
Is it how many calories does the average man burn off while having a proper think about Jessica Ennis?
That's a new phrase, a proper think.
There's nothing worse than when you get caught by your parents having a proper think, is there?
I thought you were studying for your exams, and no, he was having a proper think.
It puts a new complexion on. Go to your room and think about what you've done.
It's going to bring towards the correct answer if you can.
When reading the letters page of the Daily Mail, what year does it feel like it is? Is it the amount of athletes that took part in the parade this week?
Absolutely right. Thank you very, very much. Well done, Chris. Yes, the question I was looking for is how many Team GB athletes took part in the Olympic and Paralympic victory parade in London on Monday. According to the British Olympic Association, 736 athletes celebrated their record-breaking medal haul in front of over 1 million spectators. The victory parade was made up of 21 floats and featured a fly past by the Red Arrows. Did you watch?
What else can the Red Arrows do if they don't fly past?
Presumably walk past in formation.
Everybody loves the Red Arrows, don't they? Everybody really loves the Red Arrows. You think how much better people would feel about our unwanted intervention in other countries if we bombed them using the Red Arrows.
I went to the Paralympics. It was very exciting. It was quite complicated. You get used to, because I didn't know anything about it. And the first race I watched was the because you know they had those grades, and so I watched the S6 swimming. And I was like, they said it, I was like, the S6 swimming? I mean, I know that's frowned upon to be from Essex, but that is not a disability. She's slightly slower because her vajazzle will hatch in the water.
It's the pool just looking like a weak gravy off all the false...
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with. OK, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on a survival show.
This is the most terrifying animal you can see in the wild. It has the body of Posh Spice.
Of course, if you're on an expedition, you must always make sure you boil all the water. Now, this can really slow you down if you come to a lake.
It's been 17 days since my last proper meal, and I am beach body ready, bitches.
Bear, are you related to George Foreman grills?
I've not had a bath for days on end.
And that's because Rob Beckett's dad is in there.
There is barely any water here, so we've been collecting our urine. But this morning, some of it was gone, and that is taking the piss.
Spent 3 days in the jungle with nothing to eat but raw caterpillars. I remember the moment I walked back into civilization. Whew, there are a few butterflies in my stomach, I can tell you.
When I was thirsty, I was forced to drink my own urine. I'm now hungry and dreading dinner.
And when you're in the wild, you've got to remember what you learn at Scouts. Don't tell anyone our little secret.
Well, night is falling, it's raining, and I'm in the shelter, but it still feels dangerous here. There are 6 teenagers staring at me, and the bus doesn't arrive for 20 minutes.
If you suddenly see a bear extremely close to you, the best thing to do, stand stock still. Pull down your trousers and just let it have sex with you.
On the men's island, Derek's drinking coconut water because Derek's a hipster twat.
After 3 months totally alone on the island, it's amazing that John hasn't gone mad. Isn't that right, John? Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, I've managed to make a raft to escape the island by smashing up some boats.
Okay. The next topic is unlikely things to hear over at Tannoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Waitrose, you smug rich pricks.
This is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. Would somebody please go to the power tools aisle and get me a drill?
If you see an unattended bag, please don't report it. Remember, you're in world of luggage.
Good evening, ladies. Topshop will be closing in 5 minutes. Please make your way to the till unless you're over 30, in which case piss off to M&S, you ancient old hag.
This is an announcement for the front desk of the swimming baths. Could doctor, someone's done a shit in the pool? Please come to reception.
Would the couple having sex in aisle 2 please stop? Spillage in aisle 2.
The 1625 has unfortunately been cancelled and has been replaced by a replacement bus service. EasyJet would like to apologise for all passengers who are going to Greece.
I only work in the post office for the crumpet. Watch this. Widow number 2, please.
In tonight's performance of Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the part of the child catcher will be played by a 1970s TV presenter.
Welcome to Sexist Airways. I'm just going to pop on the seatbelt sign for a moment because we're swapping to a lady pilot.
We are now coming into land in Russia, where the local time is 1956.
Welcome aboard the one-way saga service special to Switzerland.
trying to have a laugh.
Attention to the submarine crew of HMS Nando's. Be careful not to burn your eyes on the periscope.
Lost children can be found at the Lost Children tent. If they're not claimed by the end of the day, they will be destroyed.
Welcome to Megabus. Things haven't worked out quite as well as you were hoping, have they?
Welcome to the sexist supermarket. Checkout number 3.
Okay, at the end of that round, the points go to Josh, Hugh and Milton. What did the government change their minds about?
The one this week is rubbish collection. They said that there would be rubbish collection once a week, and now they've gone back on that. It's going to be once a fortnight. I've absolutely no idea why people are worried about their bins being taken away every week, because if you live in a city, a fox will take your bin away every night.
This is the thing, this is a big thing, the urban foxes, or as they have them in Kensington, the urbane foxes. So I said to the rabbit, I should run if I were you, my young friend. Do not say to bandy pretty words with me, I shall have your pelt for a smoking jacket.
Who was the man who announced this policy, though? A man by the name of Eric Pickles,
yes.
who basically said it was the right of every Englishman to have the remnants of his chicken tikka masala to be able to put them in a bin without having to wait 2 weeks to have them collected. Have you seen the look of that man? That is a... How would he know? There we go. That is a man who has no concept of leftovers whatsoever.
Do you think that when he said the remnants, he meant like that tin container that they got delivered in?
Honestly, he would have eaten that. He would have eaten the bag it came in. He would have eaten the receipt and the leaflet with the new menu on it. And the delivery boy only got away because he was on a moped.
Nice.
Oh. An Indian takeaway, you don't put in a bin anyway. Indian takeaway, you put in the bag that you got the Indian takeaway in, and then you put that next to the bin. You don't actually put it in the bin, so it doesn't matter.
And what? Surely it gets in the bin eventually. Surely the bag that the takeaway arrived in that contains the takeaway, where does that go?
I really need to clean my house.
Do the foxes actually ring your doorbell and go, can we just come in? Because you smell under the door that this is going to be great. Can we just leave for an hour?
They're thinking of kicking me out.
It is also one of the big advantages of a wheelie bin that you can do a U-turn in it. And racing. Have you ever done that? You ever done racing wheelie bins?
No, I haven't.
Well, you put a child in each wheelie bin.
They're quite deep wheelie bins. How old is it?
Exactly, yeah. They don't need to be seeing anything. You can have the lids closed.
Do you even have to move, or do you just close the lid and go, oh, here we go, oh...
And when they're sick, it's quite useful they're in a bin, to be honest.
By the way, this is all a very funny chat about wheelie bins, but we're not saying you should really put children into a wheelie bin. And it's the internet. Who wants to come up? Joe.
The internet. You know when you buy things on Amazon and they have recommendations? You know, like the person who purchased this also purchased this. I was thinking I would like to hack into Amazon and put up my own recommendations. So, like, the customer who purchased My Story by Danny Minogue also purchased a length of rope and a wobbly chair. Customers who bought the book Fabulous Photos of Puppies and Kittens also bought Why Men Leave. And customers who bought 50 Shades of Grey also bought a great big cucumber. crime is apparently on the rise because of the recession, because we're all short of money. Like in my family, like my granddad has to go into a home, and these places are very expensive, but we found somewhere, and it's really nice because he's got his own sort of kitchenette, he's got his own shower stall, there's an outside space with plants and shrubs and stuff. Best thing is, it's completely free. We've left him in home base.
OK, that leaves us with Gary. Let's see what topic you've been left with. Spin the wheel. And the topic is family.
Family. Okay. Old lady names are very much back in fashion at the minute, like Lily or Elsie or Rose, and we wanted something like that for our daughter, but we couldn't decide, so in the end we just called her Nan. I told her she'll grow into it. I remember one time my uncle asked me to spell Schadenfreude and I couldn't, but he's dead now and I'm not, so I win. My cousin always introduces himself as Stephen with a PH, and that's because he's slightly acidic. My married friends would always tell me there's someone out there for everyone, and I'd think, wow, she must be a right slag. Knock, knock, who's there? Grandad, shit, stop the funeral. Grandad asked me how to print on his new computer. I said, just Control P. He said, I haven't been able to do that for years. As a child, I was always told that if I touched myself down there, God was watching. But it turned out it was just Uncle Peter. Thank you.
Read all about it. Read all about it. It's a world.
Point to the I'm going to go to the lady. Come on, back. Unlikely things to hear on a property programme.
Next, Cash in the Attic. Tennis player Pat Cash has a nervous breakdown and decides to haunt his estranged family.
Today, we help Al McGrahy swap his one-bedroom cell for a Libyan place in the sun.
This couple's grand design is to turn an abattoir into an old folks' home by changing the sign.
I'm Sarah Beanie and I'm not pregnant.
You can't decide between the two properties? Well, you're an MP. Why don't you claim for them both?
Thing is, I have actually heard that in a property programme in Scotland. And remember, the prices of property can go down as well as plummet.
You know, I said those ghastly beams, what on earth are they for? It turns out they were for holding your house up.
Hello, I'm Lawrence Llewellyn Bowen and I'm so posh I've actually got a swan for a penis.
Michael has always wanted to live in the country, and now he does. His business has collapsed, and he's living in a caravan in a field in Herefordshire.
Even on a collapsing market, you can still make money from a flat like this. We invited 3 different estate agents to come and value it, then harvested their organs.
Welcome to this episode of Homes Under the Hammer, where we attack Eamon Holmes with a hammer.
Next on Location, 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 Kirsty and Phil finally go at it like dogs.
And obviously this will all be included in the deal. Oh my God, he's back early. Quick, out of garden!
Well, we've visited 5 properties so far, but they've all had alarms, so no joy there.
Very spacious and with wonderful views, but this flat is in Dundee, so it might as well be built out of shit.
OK, at the end of that round, the points go to Frankie Hugh and Sean. Now we play a round called Loose Men. This game involves Andy, Rod, Tom and Russell. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This is where we test our performers' stand-up skills. We spin our news generator, it settles on a topic, and anyone can volunteer jokes about the chosen subject. The winners are the people I judge who produce the funniest stuff. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is credit crunch. Who wants to come in on that? Andy Parsons.
Now, the government have got this idea that what they want to do is bankers who've lost their jobs, they want to retrain them as teachers, but in half the time it would normally take to train a teacher. I bet the teachers are happy about that, aren't they? Hey, these people were crap at banking, the chances are they're also going to be crap at teaching, and they'll be even crapper if they're trying to train them in half the time it would normally take. Yeah, these people, right, surely it'd be better to retrain them as bankers. That is what they were crap
Well done, Andy Parsons. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is eating out. Who wants to talk about that? Rod.
I ate out the other day. That's what I went to Cardiff Bay. It's all changed, you know, they've done it all up and it's all European development money, and some of the places now have got tables outside. It's al fresco dining in Wales. Just taking the piss. I think I tried to have a Twixt on a bus stop a few years ago down there. It was too wet to eat. So everyone's pretending it's Madrid down there. You know, your soup bowl's filling up faster than you can eat it. I didn't get past my starters after 7 hours of soup and rainwater. I gave up. Everyone's pretending it's Madrid, don't they? Your soup bowl's filling up. There's waiters with frosted eyebrows fighting their way to the tables going, spaghetti carbonara, spaghetti carbonara. I'll get another one, I'll get another one.
Rock'n'roll. That leaves us with Tom and Russell. Let's spin the wheel. The next subject is extreme sports. Who wants to come in on that?
No, why not? I went skydiving. I don't know if anybody here has ever gone skydiving, but if you haven't gone, I'll tell you what they do. They give you a couple lessons, then they bring you up into the plane, and you're not allowed to jump out of the plane on your own because it's too scary. So what they do is they hang you off the wing of the plane, which isn't scary at all. And the guy inside, he yells, "Let go!" 3 times. Then he gets mad. Starts kicking your hands. 'Cause I'm not letting go. We all skydive different. I skydive with a big plane in my hand.
OK, Russell, let's see what you've been left with. Let's spin the wheel. Topic is families.
Well, families are quite peculiar. Mine are wonderful. I went to Brighton the other day, and my uncle was like, "Watch out, it's full of gays, and they'll get you. They'll get me. They're gays, they're not ninjas. Not gonna..." I'm so glad that I was raised by lunatics. I remember one of the weirdest stories I had happen to me when I was little. I was 8 years old. I was in Lanzarote. I just put some rubbish in a bin. I came around a corner and I was confronted by 2 werewolves, right? Turned out it wasn't werewolves, it was my mum and dad. Ah, ha, ha, isn't it hilarious? Not really, I've shat myself, right? But I've only recently found out they did not buy the wolf masks in Lanzarote. They bought them in England, which is beautiful and chilling at the same time. Look what I've got, David. Couple of wolf masks. You know, you don't like wolves, don't you? Captain Shitterbrick next door. Well, let's put him on now, scare him. Can I hold you just there, David? Can I wait until we're in a foreign country, get him really out of his comfort zone, and then properly shit him out?
Families. Well done, Russell. Point it in and go to Rod and Tom. What world first will soon open in London?
It's a vagina museum.
It's a vagina museum.
Sorry, darling, I don't even know how to say that word.
I am a delicate southern belle. I don't know say words like that.
Oh, you've been blinder too long.
Of a John.
And the award for clearest example that TV commissioners have run out of ideas goes to Comedy Central for Darrow O'Brien's Blockbusters.
Those kids deserve to be on the telly as much as anyone.
I'll tell you the best thing that's happened to me in the last week. A taxi driver mistook me for Jurgen Klopp.
By the way, people often ask what I write during this bit. I was making a sign that says Ed is a prick. Moving on, according to psychologists, what healthy fantasies do some people have about their boss?
Just rubbing oil into that smooth Irish head.
Tom Watson, Deputy Leader of the Labour Party, has just resigned.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yeah.
Why is he resigned?
Why is he resigned? Literally, what? I don't know. They just told me that a second ago.
They don't do that on the news, Dara. You've got to learn a few techniques.
Now we come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone can make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics, and then we'll see what our panellists can come up with.
Help! I'm becoming trapped. Trapped in the gravitational pull of Dara!
So tough week for the Conservatives. Labour, however.
I tell you what, Tom Watson's resigned.
Yeah. I just got everyone to sign this from the whole cast. With everyone's signatures on it, like whatever that adds a prick. And so we have that as a special thing.
Should I sign it as well? Just to...
No, you don't have to sign it. You're a prick. Unlikely lines from a costume drama.
Yes, welcome to Mark the Line!
Moving on, why was Ryanair in the news this week?
Because Tom Watson resigned.
By the way, I've just totally realised that I was supposed to, during that round, hand out all the other donuts so you could all have a donut. I'm just going to sit here just eating them for the rest of the round. We come to scenes we'd like to see. So if everyone could make their way over to the performance area, I'll read out this week's topics and we'll see what our panellists can come up with. Okay, here we go. The first subject is things you wouldn't hear on Crime Watch.
If you have any information about this crime or any other crime, then keep your mouth shut. Stitches get stitches. Bah, bah, bah.
A relative paid tribute to the victim who sadly died in the blaze. He said, he was the kind of guy that just lights up a room.
Studies have discovered that the majority of murderers are men. So what should we be doing? How can we support female murderers? Should we be subsidising childcare?
The suspect defecated on Boris Johnson's doorstep. Witnesses describe the man as an absolute legend.
No Crime Watch tonight, but reruns of Top of the Pops 2 are on BBC4 now, so just...
The man broke into Battersea Dogs' home and released all the dogs. Police are desperately searching for leads.
The criminals then blew the safe, but however hard they blew, it just stayed where it was.
Oh no! A city up north has gone missing. It begins with L and is great. Police are desperately looking for leads.
Do you like it? It's a Rolex, I nicked that. That is a crime watch.
And now, as a bit of fun, we go to the blooper reel. Give me all your honey. I mean, money.
According to police, there were wet footprints leading across the bedroom carpet. Because one of us doesn't know what a bath mat is.
The murderer said she did it because he made so many jokes about me on Mock the Week I couldn't hack it anymore.
Were you in the Wetherspoons at 9 a.m? If you were, we want you to contact us. There was no crime, we just want to work out what went wrong in your life.
Right, let's have a quick look at Britain's Most Unwanted. This is Sam Allardyce.
The victim's name was Jehovah. Police are looking for witnesses.
Well, you know, like greeting cards are about £4, aren't they? But if you put them in the self-service, there's no weight on them, so don't... Hello, welcome to Crime.
OK, the next topic is unlikely lines from a fantasy film.
But the ring was lost. Frodo looked up. This rectal exam had gone badly wrong.
I was Gandalf the Grey. But now, after only 3 washes...
Will the Mad Lord defeat the Leper Queen? Rob Beckett, Fox News, Washington.
My magic powers are strong. Put any penis in my hand and watch it grow.
Your Majesty, I have ridden here for 2 weeks on horseback to deliver this important message from your brother.
Hufflepuff? Oh, great, I'm getting bullied.
Frodo, it's so far, can't we just split a cab fare?
No, sorry, darling. No, that's a ticket. No, this is a double yellow brick road.
I am Thor. John Thor. And I am a Morse god.
'Tis I, Merlin, Grand Wizard and supplier of Premier League sticker albums. Shazam, a shiny!
Oh no! I've been bitten by some radioactive corduroy. That means I'm going to become James Acaster Man.
No, I'm sorry, Alice. This is Sunderland.
After travelling across the dark seas and desolate plains, finally I am home. I left my keys at Clive's.
We actually find the term unicorn quite offensive. We prefer skinny rhinoceri.
Call yourself an orc? Oh, yeah, you can talk the orc, but can you walk the orc?
Do not go in there. It's an absolute bloodbath. It's literally a lion in a wardrobe. I cannot emphasise that enough. Killed the witch. Oh, my God!
Oh, what's that? The film's gone on for 9 hours and they don't know what you're doing anymore, so you just get an army of the undead to save the day? Fucking turn it in.
OK. Yeah, that round. The points go to Ed, Hugh and James. And the first subject is relationships. Ellie.
So I've got quite a close relationship with my sister, and she's got my little nephew, Henry, who is a prick. No, he is. Don't take his side. You haven't met him. Because before he came along, I was the youngest in the family. I was the baby of the family, which we all know is the socially acceptable way for saying favourite. A role I was born to play until my sister, Slaggy McSlaggerson, got herself knocked up by some dude she had barely been married to for 6 years. Suddenly it was all about her and the baby within. Now, initially, naively, I did actually get quite excited about the pregnancy, because I think especially from like a female point of view, you wouldn't be human if you didn't get excited about your sister putting on a lot of weight. Had a lot of fun with that. We did. I changed her ringtone to the sound of a large lorry reversing. Just sisterly banter, really. But the banter stopped when the baby came, because suddenly it was all about him. No one paid me any attention anymore. Like, I don't know if you've ever had, like, sort of a family dinner with a small child around. It's a nightmare. There's food being thrown, there's shit everywhere, there's tits hanging out. You name it, I tried it, still nothing. Thank you.
Very good. The next topic is what a rugby commentator would never say.
Oh, and he skipped through the defence, and that's lucky, because if these South Sea Islanders catch you, they eat you.
It's time for the scrum, where the players can have a quick kiss and exchange phone numbers.
And it's the coin toss, and Johnny Wilkinson has sprained his thumb.
And that is a massive tackle. I wish mine was like that.
Not everyone's been able to get tickets for this World Cup final, and we know a lot of you are watching at home. So hello to you, the England team.
Oh, and it's bad news for New Zealand. Rugby doesn't matter.
And keep an eye on this ball as it hits the ground, because it's such an unusual shape, it could go anywhere.
Seal it bang, seal it bang, kia ora, kia ora.
All pretence has been abandoned as both teams take to the field naked, covered in lubricant, to the sound of pounding techno.
Thick, muscular necks, broken noses and powerful thighs. The rugby wives are minging.
Well, he is in many ways the perfect fly half. Legs of a human, torso of a blue bottle.
The South Africans there, passing to their one black player, Johnny Token.
So it's England versus Samoa, a team of rank amateurs against Samoa.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. The points go to Russell, Ben and Andy. OK, here we go. The first subject is lines you wouldn't hear in a sci-fi movie.
Captain's log, stardate 21:35. It's a Tuesday.
Actually, Jeremy Carl's just got the DNA results back. And apparently, Luke, I'm not your father.
Commander Skywalker, bad news.
We left R2-D2 outside to stand guard, and the council took him away for emptying.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. I've seen attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I've seen...
There's a giant satsuma in front of the ship. Go to orange alert.
First, there were snakes on the plane. Now the British remake, Wasp in a car.
You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down now, I shall become more powerful. Get off, you prick!
What is it, Captain? I've never seen anything like it in my life. Of course not, Scotty. It's the sun.
Since you have got your laser gun trained on me, I've got a bit of stubborn hair just here.
Permission to beam down to the Forbidden Planet. No.
I can see dead people. That's because I'm watching UK TV Gold.
Here are the sci-fi football results. R2-D2, C-3P, 0.
Look at all those fading, dwindling stars, forced to eat bugs in a jungle.
If you leave our protection, you will almost definitely die. Scotty, do you still want independence?
Luke, I am your father. Go to your room.
Captain, I don't like it when you call me Spock face.
To boldly go where no man has gone before. Anne Widdecombe.
How many Klingons does it take to change a dilithium crystal? 10. 1 to change it, and the other 9 to chastise him for performing such a menial task when he's a member of a proud warrior race.
The next round is called This Is the Answer, What is the Question? On the board are 6 categories. James, which category would you like?
Sport, please, Dara.
Fantastic. Sport it is. The answer is 20 minutes. What is the question?
How long does it take to steam French beans so they don't squeak when you bite into them?
What is a frankly disappointing distance for the TARDIS to travel back in time?
How long does it take Joey Essex to fill in the name and address section on any form?
Is it how long does it take Oscar Pistorius to cross a cattle grid?
Is that a joke you wouldn't do on the last leg, is it, Schwitz? Famously one-legged host Adam Hill, is that? Were you bursting to get that joke out? I've
been sitting up for weeks! On average, how long is it between Greek elections?
Is it how often does David Cameron have to take swine flu medication?
Is it when a man says he's going to make love all night long, what does he really mean?
Oh, let it go! It was one time, Gary!
Is it true or false? People don't understand true or false questions.
Is it for the rest of his life, what is the longest David Cameron will go without someone shouting, oink, oink?
Is it how long had the pig been dead for before...
Is it how long was I watching the footy drunk for last Friday before I realised they were playing rugby.
OK, then you know what it is.
Yeah. It is, I think, how long was the opening ceremony to the Rugby World Cup?
Absolutely, thank you very much. Yes. Commercials that never made it to air.
Have you got a wicked side? Then you're a prick.
Take 2 bottles into the shower. Not anymore, I've got a proper dildo.
JD Sports. 2,000 looters can't be wrong.
Do you suffer from dull, lifeless hair? Don't worry, Andy Parsons will buy it off you.
With ABS, sat-nav and airbags, this may be the most advanced condom you ever buy.
How much did you say you earned for those direct line car insurance adverts? Well, people deserve to hear about this. Honk, 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 honk.
Dara O'Brien. We work, so he doesn't have to.
Cash for cash. Send us your cash in an envelope and we'll send it back, minus commission.
Every year, thousands of bears are captured, tortured and forced to dance in front of crowds of cheering people. Call 0845 now for ticket hotline.
Ash for cash. Put your cremated relatives in an envelope.
Got that bloated feeling? My uncle had that, he was dead in a week.
Smash for cash. Put in mashed potato in an envelope.
Don't just book it, Thomas cook it. Dignitas in Switzerland.
Why have we got barbecues at low, low prices? Because the summer's been shit and no one's bought them.
At the Dogs Trust, we never put down a healthy dog. But the minute one coughs, it's in the Thames.
Do you suffer from unsightly chest hair? Should have gone to Peck Shavers.
Lynx. Come on, virgins, wash your cocks.
OK, at the end of that round, points go to Chris, Hugh and Carl. A random news generator with a bank of topics. We spin the wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and try to make us laugh about the subject it's landed on. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel for the first topic. OK, the first subject is street protesters. Can I have a volunteer talk about that?
I'll do that, Dara. Nation. So, I love street protesters, they're fantastic. The best I saw, there's a lovely old lady who, since the war in Iraq started, she stands outside the Bristol Hippodrome with a big sign that says, "Toot if you're anti-war." And if you drive past her, she does this. Now, I'm not sure, I've made her leap many times. I don't know if I'm anti-war or really pro-pensioner leaping. You know, when you kind of go... Why am I doing this? Stop it! They're everywhere. They're brilliant. There's a bloke that I saw the other day. You know, one of those religious godbotherers. It's fantastic. Just with a loud hailer, just pointing at people randomly. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. Everyone was freaked out. Two goths delighted. That's a separate issue. But he pointed at me and I was freaked out. And then he did something wonderful. He pointed at this really strutting black guy. I don't know why the fact that he's black made it cooler, but it really did, right? Pointed at it, went, you're going to hell. Without missing a beat, this bloke just went, no, mate, HMV. And he just sat there going,
Well done, Russell Howard. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is extreme fundamentalism. Ian.
You're saying extreme fundamentalism?
Yeah, the fundamentalism on a skateboard. If you could do that, that'd be great.
It's basically extreme fundamentalists burning American flags. Where do they get them, by the way? Where do they get them? We don't see it, you know. As soon as they turn the cameras off, someone's there going, put it out, for goodness sake. We've only got 2 left. Use the asbestos flag, like I said. I think some Jewish bloke's got a big warehouse in the Middle East, don't you? Business is business.
Well done, Ian Stone. That leaves it with Frankie and Andy. The next topic is political correctness. Who would like to go? Frankie!
Now, political correctness has changed everything. People forget that even political correctness itself used to be called spastic gay talk. It's not politically correct to say don't give money to charity. I mean, we might want to give money to Africa, but money takes no account of cultural difference or the reality of those people's lives. If you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you give him a fishing rod, he'll break it up for firewood. Or swap it for a fish.
Thank you, OK, Andy, let's see what you've been left with. It's health. Away you go.
Now, once again, they've been having a go this weekend there about skinny models, saying that they give us a bad body image. Now, I'm not sure we're quite that insecure, are we? You know, I see a skinny model, I don't think, oh, I better go on a diet. I think, oh, there's a skinny model, I bet they're hungry. I think I'll have a pie.
At the end of that round, points for both teams. Give it for both teams.
Here we go. The first subject is unlikely things to hear in a religious program.
Mary, shag, avoid, Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Does Jesus save? Let's check the VAR.
If you'd like to make a donation, please use the church's own online payment system, PayPal.
And Jesus was born in a manger, surrounded by sandwiches and cappuccinos, for this was a Pret-a-Manger.
Can we all stop calling Andrew Scott the sexy priest from Fleabag? Every priest is sexy when you've had enough altar wine. So if you want to hire an outfit for a marriage in a mosque, come here. Mosque Bros. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for Stargazing Live, where Dara O'Brien and Brian Cox will fill your head with heathen lies.
And there's the priest wearing a special new dog collar for the event. Welcome to Fetish Week on Songs of Praise.
Welcome to the show in which a man wearing a turban will help you when you can't get through the chain barriers. This is Seek Assistance.
In Judaism, there is no hell, just a Labour Party conference.
Well, due to a typo on the programme this morning, we have a bishop, an imam, and representing the Jewish community, the Chief Rabbit.
Thank you for watching Songs of Praise, and remember, when you go to heaven, I'm sure it'll be fine when God says, "But you didn't go to church," and you said, "No, but I did watch it on the telly."
And then it rained for 40 days and 40 nights, which I can only assume had something to do with the homosexuals.
And Jesus fed the gathering with the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, apart from the vegan with the wheat allergy who had to bring his own stuff.
This is St. Paul's Cathedral, which because of a no-deal Brexit is now a Wetherspoons.
And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And then he created Eve, but he didn't fancy her, so he switched off his light, because no likey, no lighty.
What's made police officers in Sussex angry this week?
Oh, this is fantastic. There's a leaflet out telling them how to wear their uniform. Genuinely true, this. Apparently they've been told you've got to put your socks in and tuck your shirt in and then you'll catch the paddies. This is... It implies there are policemen in West Sussex walking around like this. We're going to get the bad man. Any second now, we're going to get the bad man, you know? I think it's great. I think we should do more patronising leaflets for them, you know? Wouldn't that be great?
Left leg, then right leg.
Yeah.
Then left leg. Quicker if he's running away from you.
But wouldn't that be great if it's really patronising? Going undercover does not mean turning up with a duvet on your head.
This is how it was reported in Metro. These are the photographs they showed. My favourite bit is your utility belt should only contain items issued by the Force.
Lightsaber.
A lightsaber, basically. Yeah, a lightsaber. Only a lightsaber.
Oh, that'd be great if you just had a tiny Yoda. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Actually, that sounds like a euphemism for a penis.
I have what else are they keeping in the utility belt? What else are they doing?
Mace.
Oh, I got some breath mints and some lube. Mind you, lube be useful enough. I can get you out of the crash car, but you will smell of sexy cherry for a while.
It's also saying the correct way to be a policeman is to be 2/3 of the size.
Budget costs you.
Yeah, smaller policeman, easier to dress. I know that your PPV, which I think is personal protection vest, I think it's like the anti-stab vest, must be worn over your shirt. Now, I can see what the problem is here, because I'd imagine lots of them wore them under the shirt, so that people go, "Oh my God, you've been stabbed," and they go, "No!" Yes, the answer I was looking for was Blair's memoirs' incredible sales. This is a story that ex-Prime Minister Tony Blair has finally published, A Journey, his hotly anticipated account of his time in power.
He's basically, he'd been accused of sexing up a dossier, and now he has sexed up a dossier, basically, you know, you went after he's going, "Oh, I devoured Cherie," or whatever it was. You weren't sure what he was going to put next, you know. "I flopped out my weapon of mass destruction." And 45 minutes later, it launched.
What weakness does Blair reveal?
Mini baby bells. He can't get enough of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
No, he's drinking. It was really hilarious because he said, "Yeah, I was a bit of a drinker," but all he had was half a bottle of wine a night. My mate once got so drunk he woke up in a river.
This would be the worst AA meeting ever. It'd be so dull as well, because the other... OK, tell us about yourself. Well, Duncan's basically, he's lost his kids, he's found himself homeless on the street. How about you, Tony? Well, first of all, hi, guys. Occasionally, I have a second glass of wine after dinner. Group hug.
Although, in fairness, his drinking did lead to invading a country.
Yeah, which makes the UN the international equivalent of a woman in a car park going, "Leave him, Tarek, he's nowhere there!"
The UN made him the Middle East peace envoy after he'd started 2 wars in the Middle East. It would be like making the woman who chucked that cat in a wheelie bin an RSPCA inspector. As Prime Ministers go, it's nothing, isn't it?
No, it is.
Churchill used to have a bottle of champagne for lunch, have another one apparently in the evening, have 3 scotches, 2 brandies and a highball. So you think, well, it's no wonder he didn't want to appease Hitler, was it? He was well up for a scrap, wasn't he?
Yeah, but to be fair, now, what people forget about Churchill, when Churchill was doing the "we shall fight them on the beaches," he was 25 at the time. That lifestyle, he died at 32. That lifestyle really...
I'm surprised he didn't go, oh, we're going to fight them on the beaches and we'll fight them in the pubs, outside the pubs, in the kebab shops.
If they look at our women, we'll twat them there.
We're in a late-night garage and we want more fags.
Yes, Churchill, that he said later in life his greatest regret was never winning the Second World War. Didn't remember a thing.
He also, let's be honest, he looked quite like you.
And you are...
As an insult.
Say it in no, he did. I'd say that as a compliment.
Yeah, you would take it as a compliment.
Yeah.
He was a
we will
big
fight them
man.
on the beaches.
Yeah.
Say that.
We will fight them on the beaches.
Don't sound like the Churchill dog.
That was Tommy Cooper. We will fight them.
Tommy Cooper.
I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is, but I think they've usually got a carer with them.
Say this. Never in the field of human conflict.
I'm not doing Churchill impersonations, Troy.
Do it sexy. Do sexy Churchill.
Sexy Churchill. I will fight you on the beach.
I've actually eaten dead badger roadkill.
Have you? Really?
Yeah, Shall I tell you what it tasted of?
What's the taste of?
Badger. No, I have. I had a meal of badger. I had otter in a meal called risotto. And I had blackbird rather, in a pie. Oh, it was really nice.
Is this when you were working in nursery rhymes?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I did for a programme.
I think what programme was that? Let's make you eat weird shit.
It was a programme where you had to do things that you'd never done, and I said I'd never had roadkill, so I ate roadkill.
But hang on, I know the programme you mean. It's a programme where you're supposed to do things you've never done that other people have done, though. It was called Never Seen Star Wars, and then you were just slightly out of step with the population. You're not out of step with the population with having never eaten roadkill. I don't think that's what he's never eaten roadkill. We're got a Lord Snooty over here. Fished his dinner off the tarmac once in a while.
No, it was nice.
In an effort to cheer up the badger, Paul Gascoigne was seen in the area with an empty bottle of Cava, a can of Spam, and a Savage Garden CD.
That's an example, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whenever they show fat people on the news, they never show their faces, do they? They always show them from the middle area. And you're thinking, if we're really trying to lose weight, maybe they should show their faces and go, look at this one!
Look at this one. This is your policy. Shaming of the obese. This one is very fat. Chase them! Chase them with sticks! And if they will not run, put Mars on the end of the stick and dangle it. Run them around in a circle like a horse training for dressage. Just slowly around and around the stick.
The point is, the supermarkets are saying we're doing everything to try and help people be healthier, and you think, no, they're not. The supermarkets couldn't care less. If they really cared about our health, they would give us trolleys which were harder to push to give us a cardiovascular workout, and they'd make the chocolate and biscuit aisle only a foot wide so fat people can get...
In other news, why are Druids celebrating at the moment?
They're officially a religion.
Yes, they are.
It's a great... They've officially... But granted by the Charities Commission, they are now officially a religion, which makes you wonder what the problem was before, that they weren't, I don't know, wishy-washy enough to be a religion. Like, well, what do you worship? Nature. Nah, nature exists.
If they are legally now a religion, that presumably means they can set up faith schools.
Be fantastic.
There'd be druidic schools. Like you'd have to move to the Stonehenge catchment area to get your child into a really good one. And it'd be the only school in the world where pupils would be actively encouraged to draw naked men with a big cock and ball.
You have all these middle-class parents trying to forge a letter from the local Wiccan shaman.
I once had a druid who came to work in my garden, which is a bit weird. But he was 3 hours late one day to work in the garden, and it was the most brilliant excuse I've ever heard. He said, I would apologise for being late, but I'm afraid I don't believe in the concept of time.
Did you not point out that you were paying him by the hour?
I did, yeah.
The school I went to in Wiltshire is the site of Merlin's Mound, so it's like a big... on the solstice, all these druids used to go there, and we used to obviously rip the piss out of them. And it was brilliant because it happened every year. They were out, I'd be doing like science, and there'd be all these druids like wailing and throwing their sticks in the air and shit like that. And we'd all be taking the piss. And one year, my teacher, a man that I respected, I was taking the piss out of all the druids, and he said, Whitehall, I don't know why you're laughing. You know they like to sacrifice virgins. Boom! Unbelievable.
Top work. We gotta book that guy.
Yeah.
Good. Why has health and safety been in the news this week?
Because Cameron says he's going to get rid of it.
Yes. Which came a little bit too late for BP.
Yeah.
It's a stupid thing to do, to try and get rid of health and safety, because essentially we have evolved ourselves out of a position where we have any natural predators. The only natural predators humans have are ourselves and peanuts. We're doing the best because we're stupid. Health and safety is getting in the way of evolution. 10,000 people last year in this country were admitted to A&E having injured themselves putting their trousers on. Right? They're firing themselves out of cannons into their trousers. They caught themselves in the zip, right? Which is hideous, yes, but at least they can't breed anymore. That is evolution, and health and safety will stop that.
Imagine making that phone call, though. Oh! Got my dick in my trousers, and I want to sue. My trousers.
My old teacher's mate was testing some reinforced concrete cages. You know, reinforced concrete is cages with concrete covering it, and they show you the cage out the back. And he jumped off backwards, being a bit of a lad, and split up the front of himself, and didn't notice until a couple of seconds later when his bollocks fell out of his jeans. He drove himself to hospital, right? Holding his balls in one hand and putting them on his lap to change gear. He got to the A&E and the woman said, "How can I help you?" And he went...
I bet there was somebody sat in A&E just eating a Scotch egg, like that.
I bet there's somebody in the A&E with a slightly hurt elbow going, I'm going to be longer than I thought now. I've been moved down by Mr. Hear Me Balls.
There was an incredible story about, well, it's not incredible, but about health and safety, that trainee hairdressers aren't allowed scissors. Which is pretty... Imagine that. What are they going to do? Just use their teeth? This is Sandra, she's going to chew your perm out.
The news. Which celebrity's voice has been voted top in a recent survey to find the nation's favourite sat-nav voice?
I think you're overselling this, but is it Sir Sean Connery?
It's supposed to be Sir Sean Connery, yes. There was some sort of poll.
Tell us about it, Dara.
Yeah, I don't really want to tell you about it. Who did he beat in second place?
He beat Dara.
He beat me. He beat me in second place.
That's it. And who was in third place? George Clooney.
Yeah,
eh?
yeah, I beat Clooney. Yeah. Thank you. And he is gutted.
And Dara, how long has your mother been running these surveys? Why would you want Dara on your sat-nav? Well, never stop. You'd be like, turn left here, turn left, turn left. You want to turn left. You want to turn left. You want to get there. You have to turn left. You have to turn left there. You're going to What do you do for a living? What do you do? What do you do? You want to go straight over the end, but that's the second exit.
Yeah. My great problem is that I haven't been living here that long. I'm like to go, no, I don't know where that is, actually.
Dara, do you know why I think you should have won? Because your name is an anagram of Aya Road Brain. Your name is an anagram of
Of I
a road brain.
I a road.
I a road brain.
Yeah, Mickey's looking forward to Carol Vorderman's warm-up act.
You know, I've not got a lot on at the moment.
This sounds a bit clangy, I once got an email from Stephen Fry telling me that he was sitting in an airport in Africa, and did I know my surname was an anagram of Nairobi? It's very difficult to want to write back. Thanks, Stephen.
You're very much mistaken if you think that sounds like a clanger. That sounds like a clanger.
OK, thank you. End of that. Stop being
Sorry? Where's the soup dragon?
The question I was looking for was, how much time has Delhi had to prepare for the crisis-hit Commonwealth Games, which reports claim are still not ready? The city won the right to host the Games in 2003, but the build-up to the event has been plagued by fears that facilities and accommodation might not be completed on time and to a safe standard. So what's been going wrong?
Well, the ceiling of the weightlifting area collapsed. I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? And there he is. He's holding up 200 kilograms and the roof!
Did you do what they had removed from one of the rooms in the Athletes' Village?
A snake.
A snake, a cobra, was in one of the bedrooms in South Africa. And they said, I don't know what you're worried. We gave you a basket and a small horn. Play the horn and the cobra will go back into the basket. A cobra! That's a valid safety complaint, surely.
But it's a double whammy as well. You get bitten by a cobra, they give you an anti-venom, and then they disqualify you for having an illegal substance in your bloodstream.
What animals have been brought in?
Camels.
No, not camels, no.
Penguins.
Not penguins.
Bears.
No, monkeys.
Is it a narwhal?
It's not a narwhal. Stop naming random animals, right?
Is it a muskrat?
It's not a muskrat. I've already said the word monkeys while you carried on naming.
Is it monkeys?
It's monkeys. Well done, yeah. Okay, at the end of that round, what the hell? Points for everyone. Come on back. Get up. How exhausted were you?
I can't do it without falling.
Yeah, you can do it without falling.
The gate is falling.
What?
It's not earpiece, it's 4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, really? All this time have they been shouting? Oh, that's fantastic.
From underneath, they'll be going...
I thought it was elves saying...
Post! This is just introduction to old age for you.
Yeah.
Next, you'll be losing your hair.
So, the police have been probably... Stop it. We are genuinely filming this shit. Could you stop throwing stuff? I know it seems, that you're not... I know this bit isn't all about you, but don't break open the sweets just yet, all right? OK. Where the police were having problems with the e-fit technology?
It was rude.
OK. Half of the performers weren't eating bananas.
Hey, with the monkeys.
Yeah. So, seriously, you'd like the bananas to pause just for a second? Yeah. OK.
Have a special banana shell.
Jared, we'll get a banana. Oh, we'll get you some grapes. What? Some greengrocers are we fucking turning into here?
Sorry.
My mouth. Oh, get it fucking down. Don't fucking hug me. Come on. No Russell Howard tonight, as he's off working on the next series of his own show for the BBC Three. But we start with a round called, if this is the answer, what is the question?
You said the BBC Three.
Shut up.
You did say the BBC Three.
Shut up, I'd like to get out of here at some stage
Well,
tonight.
maybe you shouldn't have upped it up then. Maybe you should have said either the BBC or BBC Three.
I call it
says the BBC Three.
I call it the BBC Three, right?
Are you a big fan of the Oasis?
He's going to be shit as a sat-nav, isn't he? Turn the right.
I touched the mic. They told me off before for touching the mic, so you're...
She told you off for touching Mike.
No. It's all wonky. I just don't want to ruin. I don't want to ruin everything.
That has made all the difference.
Yeah, that's better.
I'm going home.
Sorry, Hugh.
Milk, bread, germaloids. I believe I have been reading from the wrong piece of paper.
I like to see myself as a perfect compromise between Ed Balls and David Miliband. I am David Milliballs.
Right then, conference, it's time to choose our new leader using the traditional method. Professor Dumbledore, pass me the sorting hat.
Okay, the next topic is things you wouldn't hear in a cookery show.
No, that's definitely a poodle.
Today, I brought along chicken tonight, but I'm going to have it tomorrow. Smash the system.
So finally, just pour on the milk, and there you have it. Cereal.
And remember, you must eat the brain to get their power.
A lot of people recommend washing your hands after handling raw meat, but it's just as easy to let a dog lick them or to wipe them on a relative.
Golden, relax. We're doing a bit of dinner, mate. You're not sorting out the Middle East here.
So just boil for 15 minutes, and if there's still life in her, she's a witch.
Welcome to It's Late and There's Not Much Left in the Fridge. Today we're going to be making onion double cream banana pasta ketchup.
The unique flavor of the sausages is from a recipe from my wife.
So if you want to give your bar snacks that genuine pub feeling, why not sprinkle them with urine?
I'm Jamie Oliver, and in my new series, I'm going to be travelling the length and breadth of the UK in a VW camper. Welcome to Cock O'Van.
And the first subject is parenthood. Who wants to come in on that? Ed.
Been thinking recently that I should maybe have a baby, but I've thought about it and definitely not. Couldn't handle that amount of responsibility, something that precious. It's terrifying. You know, I've got friends who've just had a baby and they offer that thing around like a plate of biscuits. Do you want to hold my baby? Do you want to hold my baby? I don't want to touch your baby. That is a heart in a bag. I'm going nowhere near that thing. You wouldn't send the work experience into the boardroom, would you? Start me off at holding your uncle and I will work my way up. This is Uncle Toby, 47, from Swansea. Don't worry about dropping me, Ed. I am absolutely shit-faced. Still can't help it. I still think I might want a baby. Like, there's just moments in life I'm just grabbing at signs from the universe. Think, oh, maybe I should have a baby. It's happened to me the other day. I was in the queue in a shop to buy a new light bulb. Because I'm not a student anymore, my light bulb had gone. I'm not going to sit there in the dark for 6 months. So I was in the queue, and in the queue in front of me was a man with a baby. He was a dad. You've got to give people the benefit of the doubt in that scenario. You can't go storming in going, excuse me, is that your baby? You've just got to admit it probably is, right? And on the wall, there were these light switches. They weren't real light switches. They were just like designer ones to show you what they would look like on the wall. And the baby was playing with them. It was going, ah-da-da-da-da-da-da, playing with them. And the dad was going, yeah, try that one. And was going, ah-da-da. I saw that. I thought, ooh, that's quite sweet. Maybe I want a baby. There's something in that tableau that I quite like. Maybe I want a baby. Am I broody? Is this brood? And then the dad walked off with the baby, and I wandered over to the light switches and started playing with them. I thought, oh no, that's what I wanted.
Well done, Ed. Why might we be hearing more of this sound?
Because it's the summer.
No, but longer.
They've been allowed to play their chimes longer,
Yes, they
haven't
have.
they?
Yes,
The
they
ice
have.
cream men. That's
yeah.
what-
There was a law that passed, the chime law passed. I mean, there are various small laws passed this week, like gay marriage, for example. But no, we're not talking about that. We're talking about the chime laws, where the ice cream men are allowed to play for 12 seconds rather than for 4 seconds.
Is it because of childhood obesity that they need more time to get to the ice cream?
There is a real problem with ice cream vans. I'm not sure this is funny, but it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
Which is that it's all based on a national consultation they had about the future of ice cream vans. And do you know how many responses they got to the national consultation?
99. Tell me it's 99. Okay, at the moment that we're recording now, the what is the nation gearing up to? What is
Pancake Day?
No, not pancake.
The royal baby.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
David Beckham was asked, wasn't he, as to what he thought the kid should be called, and he said he thought it should be called David, but only if it was a boy. And you're thinking, when has David Beckham got so sensible about names? Brooklyn Harper Cruise. You can't tell whether it's male or female or a boat trip round New York. It
has to be something that goes with princess or eventually queen. So Latifah or of the South. Those are.
No, do you want a better name? It's Greatest Hits.
What name they give the baby should depend on what they take as a surname. So if they're going to go with Windsor, if it's a girl, Barbara, if it's a boy, Legoland, and if they're going with Cambridge, either way, Travelodge.
So it's a state of Britain today, though, that Prince Charles is going to become a grandfather before he's even got his first job. I mean, that's a tragedy, isn't it? That is a tragedy.
Yeah, Andy lives in an estate.
You're never going to be able to... I don't know how you discipline a royal baby, though. What can you do to royal kids to go like, right, you've been naughty, you're grounded? Well, in Buckingham Palace, quality.
The only bit that I'm really looking forward to is the bit where they finally announce the baby, when Prince William comes out onto the balcony going, hey, Henry,
A man with children.
Just a bunch of giraffes on the balcony.
We start with a round call. If this is the answer, what is the question? On the board are 6 categories. Gary, which category would you like?
Media, please, Dara.
OK, your category is media. The answer is 600 metres. What is the question?
Is it, if Kelvin Mackenzie was to do a bungee jump from a height of 500 metres, what length rope should he be given?
Is it, in fact, what head start would I need if I was competing against Usain Bolt in the 100 metres?
Is it simpler than that? Is it how big are some trees, Dara?
No trees are
simpler.
Is it how far is the Queen's bed from her ensuite bathroom?
How far away can Boris Johnson smell of custard cream?
Is it, in fact, how far can the Proclaimers walk now?
Is it at what distance is Theresa May attractive?
None of the rest of us could do that, but good to have you on board.
Is it when kicking Chris Brown in the bollocks, exactly how long a run-up should you take?
Is it proportionally, if a clown's nose was the size of Dara's head, how long would his shoes be?
Is it how long was the longest runner bean ever grown at the Fukushima nuclear plant?
Is it, in fact, how long would your penis be if all the products in the spam emails worked?
Is it What is the delivery radius of a relatively unambitious pizza company?
Sorry, we'll move towards the correct answer, please.
Is it, in fact, the distance that they were taking shots of Kate topless?
That is absolutely right. Thank you very, very much, Andy. Unlikely things to hear in hospital.
I'm afraid we've lost him, but in my defence, Dr. Dre is just a stage name.
Right. I'm afraid you have had a stroke, so can you now take your hand out of my trousers?
The good news is I can save your leg. The bad news is I can't save the rest of you.
His heart stop! Quick! Get the defibrillator! Oh, sorry, he's dead.
Look, who's the doctor here, me or you? Seriously, I've been awake for so long, I can't even tell anymore.
OK, I think we should remove the mole. How did it get up there?
Welcome to Ashford Hospital. Why not join me in playing Pregnant or Fat?
Now, students, we know the operation has been a failure because we heard a buzzing and his nose lit up.
Welcome to the cardiology unit.
No, you've got to leave this afternoon, Mrs. Smith. We need your bed. I'm shagging a nurse in it at 4 o'clock.
Your husband is in a stable condition. His room's filthy and there's horse shit everywhere.
You could look at it that way, or you could think of it as gaining a hook.
To him, that's my former husband. Well, because you asked me to bring in my ex, Ray.
I'm afraid we're a bit short of time today. Do you mind if we pull the sheet over you now?
I'm sorry, we're all full up at A&E. We're going to have to send you to B&Q.
You'll just feel a small prick, and then I'll pull my trousers up and won't bother you again.
Now, what seems to be the Fucking hell!
OK, the boys going to Chris Hugh and The next round is called Picture of the Week. I show the panel a topic and image and ask them to tell me what's happening. So, teams, who is this and why were they in the news this week?
Is he saying, in Greece, we play air bouzouki?
I think he's probably saying, that referendum, Alexander, that was a pointless answer.
I think he's saying, I know we're in a lot of debt, but at least can I just have some water?
Come on, people. Come on.
I think he might actually be saying the worst thing is that the Germans have made me stand in this top hat.
It looks a bit like Angela Merkel's playing the piano while he sings. Sing for me.
This is how you should earn back the money. Yeah. Sing it again.
It looks to me, he actually looks at me, and even though Angela Merkel is looking at him, he looks at me like he's just got there and just like, I'll give that a few minutes about it.
So it's all this Greek food I eat.
or he's just going, sorry, can anyone pay for the cabbie? He's just waiting outside.
Hurry up, Meter's running.
He'll explode a light if you don't pay him. Nice to see Angela Merkel letting her guard down, though, isn't it? Okay.
Come on, she's chilled out. She's dressed as a minion.
Very ironically, Angela Merkel dressed as a minion. Yes, after almost 17 hours of talks in Brussels, a tenuous agreement between the EU and Greece has been reached. A long, all-night thing. All-night thing. The tensest moment, by the way, of the all-night thing is when they went, "Oh my God, I'm exhausted. Could somebody get me a sugary drink?" And said, "Yeah, but that's another 20% of the tax."
We'll never be free of this.
They were all-night talks, and what they kept referring to them in the papers as marathon talks, which really just hammers it home for the Greeks. That's a big cruel irony there.
Yeah,
it's marathon talks, because the Battle of Marathon, the Greeks won.
They did. Well, it wasn't them, was it? It was two bits of... It was Athens versus Sparta, wasn't it?
It was... They were versus the Persians.
Oh, OK, they were versus the Persians.
Yeah, at the Battle of Marathon.
I'd be on that team. It's boring over here.
Really Alternative lifestyles. Who wants to come in that? Zoe.
Alternative lifestyles. A friend of mine actually recently bought me a book on feng shui. Feng shui. I was like, feng shui my arse. And by that, I don't mean move it further up my back to make my shoulders look better. You know, I know people do yoga to balance the body, and I can kind of see that, but to be honest with you, I can balance my own body beautifully with a pint in one hand and a pie in the other. And I take an all-or-nothing approach to alternative medicines. I think the test is, would you use it in an emergency, OK? Do you see many herbalist ambulances? That's what I'm asking. Yeah, help me, I've sawn my own arm off, have you? What you want to do there is wave a bit of sage over it. In fact, while I'm on it, don't get me wound up, I don't even think vegetarians should be allowed to squash their vegetarian food into meat-based products. You know the ones I'm talking about, the veggie burgers, the veggie bangers. I think, no, sorry, you made your choice. If you don't want the meat, you can't have the shapes.
OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is fatherhood. Who wants to come in on that? Al.
I'm a dad, and I can tell you already that child needs discipline. I'm a dad. I like being a dad. It's good fun being a dad, but I love mums as well. I'm a big fan of mums. My mum's one, and my wife's one, and lots of my friends are mums. And for a whole night, quite recently, I thought I might be a mum. I'm not. I'm a dad, but here's what happened. My wife went out for some drinks with some other mums, and I stayed in and had a really nice bath and a glass of wine. Yeah, I had a mum's night in. Brilliant night in as well, mums. I can totally see why it caught on amongst the mum community. It's great. It's much better than being out in a pub talking to idiots about nothing. I really enjoyed it. Quite disconcerting as well. I got out of the bath and just got the towel and twisted it around on the top of my head like that. Got up the next day and bought a little Citroen Zara Picasso. But I know I sound like a cliched dad when I say this, but genuinely, our little boy is properly gorgeous. He is. He's blonde and blue-eyed and really good-natured, and sometimes I'm just walking him round to the park, holding his little hand, and I'll just be swept away by how beautiful he is, and I'll just catch myself thinking, oh, my God, you are so gorgeous. If anything happens to your mum and she dies, we are going to look so attractive.
OK, which leaves us with Milton. Let's see what topic we have. It's entertainment.
I was watching Blue Peter the other day, who's a neighbour with really bad circulation. I said to him, Peter, why don't you get a pacemaker? He said, I can't even run, let alone keep up with someone. I was watching TV the other day, and I flipped over, and all I could see were the brown cushions on my sofa really close up. You have to be careful watching television. You think to yourself, that bloke's better looking than me, he's got a better car than me, and he's got a cat called Jess. My favourite film is the French film And. I think it was released over here as E.T. You have to admire people who go into the performing arts. They have to do exercises every single day for their future careers. Big issue. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Robin Jones. Point at the end goes to Alan Hamilton. Moving on. What did we discover this week about British people's teeth?
They're worse now than they were in the Victorian era.
This is the thing that not even Victorian era.
17th century, isn't it?
From the 17th century.
The study is flawed, you know, because they analyze skulls from the 17th century and they say, oh, their teeth was better than our teeth now. Yeah, because in the 17th century, you get your adult teeth and then you die.
In America, everyone's got the same teeth. Particularly in Hollywood, everyone's got the exact same perfect white smile, you know. Like if there was a fire at the Oscars and they had to identify everybody by their teeth. It's been a week. We found all the British actors and Steve Buscemi.
I had Irish teeth as well. I have Irish teeth. Irish teeth. I'm being like British teeth, but bad. And stuff should have been done with them years ago. I had like one random fang. One fang. Like a kind of I'm a vampire sometimes. Thing. And it should have worn down naturally, never did. I gotta get it all sorted out, like whatever. But two things put me off. A, the guy said, yeah, we'll do it, but you'll have a lisp for like a week. And I went, well, that's going to be really noticeable. This is 1 week I arrive in Gleam, welcome to Mucklewee. The next round of Mucklewee. It's a much challenging of all around to Mucklewee. That thing I'd be exactly the sound. Robot wars. Coming to the arena where the robots will fight you.
You also become a wizard. That's not quite a lisp, it's more of a squelch.
It is more of a squelch.
This you know, is more, this is the answer, what is the question?
Points for everyone. But then the other thing he said is actually we don't actually have to do all capping and everything. What we can do is we can put a thing that you can then just fit onto your teeth, right? And like you can put it on, and then we see how you like it. And I kind of like a tooth wig. Make me a tooth wig that I can put on top of my teeth, and then I go, does anyone notice my tooth wig? And then I go, still me. Yes,
maybe we should get a wig first.
Okay, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is race. Who wants to come on that?
I remember that day. The Interracial Arm Wrestling World Championships. I'm a white man. Thank you. I'm a white man, which means that a lot of people hate me these days. But I'm a white man, so it doesn't matter. Literally the same. Not just that, I'm a young, white, middle-class, straight man. In the game of life, that is what's called a royal flush. The jackpot, okay? I got lucky as shit, so everyone thinks my life is easy. Everyone thinks I've got it simple, but that's because they don't know my struggle, okay? My day-to-day, the shit I have to deal with on a daily basis. Do you know how often I'm sat in a coffee shop and someone asks me to watch their laptop for them? Just let me live my life! Yes, I am trustworthy, but don't assume that based on my appearance, okay? That is still discrimination. And yes, in this Cafe Nero, surrounded by all these mums, I'm unlikely to steal your Dell computer when I'm clearly already using a MacBook Pro. A superior laptop. But don't get too relaxed, I could just easily steal that debt and repurpose it as a gift for someone I don't respect. Hard part for me about being those 5 things, that royal flush, is being a comedian. That's the hard part, because you're constantly told art comes from pain, right? To make great art, you got to experience pain along the way in childhood or whatever, then harness that pain, turn it into art down the line. But I don't know the meaning of the word pain. I've never experienced any true pain. First time I even saw the word pain, I was in a patisserie.
The first subject is unlikely things for a sports commentator to say.
And the starting pistol's gone off, and Oscar Pistorius has got his arms in the air, claiming his innocence already.
Well, good news here in Flushing Meadow. Murray has broken Djokovic. Both legs, one arm. He won't recover from that.
Oh, clearly that's a dive by Tom Daley.
So it's 1-1 at half-time, and, sorry, I'm finding it hard to concentrate here. Gareth Southgate has just had me in absolute stitches.
And that's an unfortunate wardrobe malfunction for the Ukrainian women shot putter there as a bollock pops out.
Well, do you know, I've completely forgotten when England won the World Cup.
130 kilograms. This would be a world record, but this small Peruvian is determined to swallow it and get it through customs.
And as he approaches the corner at 200 miles an hour, they really need to check out this cyclist for drugs.
And as a mark of respect, the Great Britain water polo team will be wearing armbands.
Croquet does not get better than this.
Well, my watch has 3 additional minutes. Don't buy a Rolex from a street market.
Hello, I'm Michael Owen. Welcome to the millions of you watching on BT Sport.
And he's got 4 off 1 ball. It's a lot of children that Lance Armstrong has fathered.
And the sumo wrestler grunts as his opponent enters the ring. Pretty sure that move's illegal.
Well, it's 1:30 and the covers are still on. Kevin Peterson simply won't get out of fucking bed.
And Tiger Woods is going for his 3rd hole of the afternoon. Surely by now he should have left the hotel.
And welcome to the 2020 Tokyo Olympic sailing competition. Oh my God, Godzilla! Ah!
We play a round called Happy Birthday Paul McCartney. This game involved Joe, Milton and Carl. So if you could make your way to the performance area, please. This round is a stand-up challenge. I launch a wheel of news, and wherever it chooses to stop, one of our performers must step forward and talk about that subject. The winner is whoever I think is the funniest, OK? Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. The first subject is retail. Can I have somebody to come in and talk on that? Joe Coffett.
Tesco's have announced that they are going to overhaul their shops by employing more staff, which is great because the self-scanning doesn't work, does it? It's just a row of angry people shouting at machines. Just going, but there's nothing in the bagging area. I've removed it from the bagging area. you know what's in the bagging area? A friggin' bag. What a surprise. And also, I have to say, though, sometimes a person isn't better, right? I was at Tesco's at the checkout with a person at the checkout, and just by mistake, instead of the Tesco club card, I handed over my Sainsbury's Nectar card. The woman at the checkout in Tesco's, no word of a lie, she looked at the Sainsbury's card, she put it down, she then looked at her own badge. As if to go, maybe she's right, maybe I do work in Sainsbury's. So the shopping came to £3.76, so I gave her £5 and a penny, and then stood back and watched her head explode. And another shop, Abercrombie & Fitch, they were famously sued in America because they had a policy of only employing young, very attractive people. I thought, do you think Argos has the exact opposite policy?
Thank you very much, Joe Cocker. Okay, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is health. Who wants to come in that? Carl.
Right. I suffer from recurring stomach problems, which sometimes lead me into quite embarrassing situations. One happened when, about 2 years ago, I went to see Alicia Keys live in concert at the O2 Arena. That's not the embarrassing bit. En route to meet friends to go to the show, I stopped off with my doctor to get a little checkup, and he said it was all fine, but he wanted a stool sample, so he gave me a little pot and said, do your sample, drop it in the morning. So I put it in my bag and then went to meet friends for a drink before the show. About half an hour passed, I felt movement. I thought, I better do it now, I've got to drop it in the morning. So I went to a pub toilet and I did my sample in a pot and put it back in my bag, went out, didn't tell my friends what I'd done, we just carried on drinking. About half an hour later, it's showtime. Went to the O2 Arena where I'd never been before to see Alicia Keys. And I reckon it was about 30 metres from the front of the queue where I found out about their compulsory bag search system. Have you ever tried to explain to a security guard why you're trying to smuggle a stool sample into an Alicia Keys concert? It's pretty tough. When he pulled it out, I've never heard more shock on a man's voice. He just sort of went, what is it? Like that. And I freaked out and said the first thing that came into my head, so I went, it's a pot of shit. Like that. Which he then repeated louder, right? He just sort of went, a pot of shit! And it went back down the queue like Chinese whispers. About sort of 20 people back, I think I heard somebody go, I think there's a guy with a bowl of chips at the front or something like that. So I'm just there, totally embarrassed, didn't know what to do, I'm always crying. I explain my story. The guy gets his supervisor, who comes over, and this is a great response. I was honestly like, oh, I've got a bag, sorry. And he listens to all that and goes like this, he goes, all right, I'll believe you, you can keep it.
Okay, that leaves us with Milton. Let's see what you've been left. Let's spin the wheel. The subject is relatives.
The scariest thing that ever happened to me in my entire life was when I was very little. My dad said, I'm just going to pop upstairs. And he went upstairs and he popped. I didn't speak to my dad. Well, he was a bus driver. You're not allowed to. My brother, he's allergic to cheese, not the taste. Just if anyone says the word, he goes, whoop. Doesn't happen very often, but we've got some weird family photos. My grandfather, he was a GI, and he was in the RAF. OK, he was a giraffe. During the war, when board games were illegal, he was put in prison for being a Yahtzee sympathiser. My uncle, he was a security guard at the O2 Arena.
I think is, actually we should be talking about immigration now, because it's a good thing that he's put it on the table, because, a lot of Europeans are coming into the country and taking jobs that my parents worked so hard to steal in the 70s.
And
And, you know, on behalf of the Irish, we were quite irritated at the time. Because we'd done a good job of nicking those jobs in the 50s, and then you arrive in, waving spices and whatnot. We had no response to that.
Well, listen, if UKIP get in, it is you who are in trouble, because it is, you know, taking jobs from British people is their big worry, isn't it? This will be Mock the Week with Sue Barker.
She's the natural second choice. When I finally get deported, Sue Barker's stepping into on my jobs. Yeah.
I think you'll find, though, it was the spices from the East and the Irish cuisine that joined together to form the potato wedge. Beautiful thing.
Nigel Farage, he said there was going to be a flood of Bulgarians and Romanians coming over on New Year's Day. Turns out there are now, in fact, 4,000 less Bulgarians and Romanians in the country now than there were last year. So obviously the Bulgarians and Romanians who were in the country suddenly heard that all these other Bulgarians and Romanians were coming to Britain, and they thought, well, that's why I left the country in the first place.
It works both ways, though. It works both ways, and the British are even sneakier at getting into countries. I keep having British children. They sneak in through my body, and then they talk like this way, and they love queuing, and they eat beans and toast. I don't know where they're coming from.
I think you need to address your open door policy there.
At me a couple seconds ago, but you just thought of that and were laughing at yourself and waiting to say it.
I'm really quite pleased with myself.
To be honest, he's still laughing at potato wedge.
He's on a bit of a run at the moment.
When Farage made these racist comments about Romanians on LBC, he blamed the fact that he was tired. And you're thinking, well, if tiredness is an excuse for racism, the Metropolitan Police must be bloody knackered, mustn't they?
The other one he said was he felt uncomfortable on train. You get on a train out of London and he would hear foreign languages being spoken. And you kind of go, if you're in the train out of London and the ticket officer came on and suddenly started going, Verkarten bitte! Wo ist deine Papieren? Wo ist deine Papieren? You would wake up and go, it was on a dream! We didn't win the war! Oh, no!
Was that just an excuse to show off your variety of accents?
I have lots of accents. It's very, very good. Maybe you'd like to hear my Spanish accent. Hola, ¿qué tal? It's quite beautiful. It's very good.
The issue that I have is that, you know, UKIP sort of attracting votes from sort of the elderly. You know, that this is sort of who are increasingly supporting them. And the thing is that you get worried because you think, well, I've sort of had more racist experiences from elderly people and you can sort of understand how this comes about. But I actually think that elderly people should just be allowed to be racist because, like, they've got enough shit going on in their lives, like, without having to re-educate themselves. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've pissed myself, I've got 2 false hips, and now I can't say darky. Like, it's... I'm quite happy to make him feel comfortable, bump into an elderly person, just give him the old wobble head to make him feel all right.
I don't mind that UKIP's on telly all the time, even though they've got no MPs in the House of Commons. Because, Dara, you've got no MPs in the House of Commons and you're on telly all the time.
All right. But I have an inclusive manifesto.
You may not have seen one. It was a story in Ireland in the Evening Herald in Dublin last week. And it's quite a moving story. It's about Alzheimer's disease.
Oh.
It was, yeah. And the story basically was being a big head may be good for you. Scientists found that large-headed individuals with Alzheimer's have better memory and thinking skills than sufferers with small heads. All of which is quite interesting. You see, the next paragraph I found difficult to take. People with larger than average heads, like comedian appear to be better protected if they develop Alzheimer's disease, as studies suggest. Now, that would be all right if it wasn't for that. Like, the article actually came with a giant photograph of me next to the article. Under the word big head, have protected against Alzheimer's.
Written underneath that was extra large : report is good news for Dara O'Brien. No, it's not. It's not good news because I suddenly realised I've got a big head apparently.
What do you mean you've suddenly
Protect us from the Alzheimer's.
Back in Canada, I did some modelling. It was for medical. It was for penile dysfunction. It was a before and after picture.
This is true. I didn't model. I don't model for big head things. I don't regard myself as having a large head. I don't have difficulty buying hats. I don't have difficulty getting into jumpers. My head doesn't cause me no...
When did those three guys get here?
To be fair, a big head doesn't normally cause the owner a problem. It causes the owner's mother a problem. How does
Have you ever seen Dara? It's smaller than my hips, for God's sake.
Your head is smaller than your hips.
What
kind of shape are you? You're a peanut.
Shakira. Of course my head is smaller than my hips.
Dara, but it's...
Is your head not smaller than your hips?
No! Dara, look at me.
Oh, you're weird.
Yeah. Look at me. I'm going to take you to a hall of mirrors and show you how you should look. It's
the kid from Mars. See, look at that. It's fine.
Your head is absolutely enormous. In fact, on a normal size head, that would be a full head of hair.
The good thing is...
Are you not staying in my house tonight?
When Dara opens an umbrella, it's like one of them little cocktail ones.
To put in context how big it is, Dara, it has its own gravitational field. It's pulled in an entire planet behind it. This desk was straight when we started.
I was expecting sympathy. That's why I introduced it.
What I did was I said something about... I revealed a weakness in front of 6 comedians, and I thought, there's a group that'll help me through this.
I think of you all as friends. I don't think of you as comedians.